Hello, my name is Jeff Rolka. I want to thank you for checking out my video. So yes, this is questions from comments 11. And yes, it is out of order with the questions from comments series due to some mix-ups and misalignments and things like that. It's not worth going into. Numbers 10 and 9 are going to be out very, very soon. In fact, I'm so confused about the order of releases that by the time this is out, one of those may in fact be out. I'm not entirely sure. I'm just going to say thank you if you've chosen to subscribe. And if you haven't yet, I hope you'll do so now. I am normally very organized. There are many ways you can support my channel. Those are in the description. They include Patreon, where you can get MP3s of the audio from the videos that we play here on YouTube. So I found this question very interesting. Let me read the question for you. I just love to know how much time should I invest in vocal training? I guess what I'd like to know is how much time should it take to go from beginner to professional vocalist? And I found that to be an interesting question because I don't know that I have encountered that specific question on the channel. Lots of questions about how long does it take to develop a certain aspect of the voice, or this particular thing with voice, or that thing with voice. But not to be professional. It was the usage of the word professional that really got my attention. And the thing about it is that so much of it depends on what that word means to the person who wrote the question in the first place. There are many, many professional vocalists that are more or less untrained, that they are, one might say, doing a character voice. They are doing their own voice to the best of their capabilities, and they're not concerning themselves with whether or not the actual training of the instrument is quote-unquote accurate or correct or something like that, whatever correct even means in this context. For others, quite the opposite is true. Most opera singers, though there are exceptions to this, that should be known as well. Like, not all opera singers go the path of university or conservatory and then go through civic operas and things like that in different companies and then finally get to be, professionals. There are those who get around that too, though I think it's much less common. Those people generally are getting a lot of training, and they're spending a lifetime perfecting and honing their instrument. And so the time it takes them is, in some respects, how long they live. What's important in this question is, I think, to define what it is you are trying to do artistically or professionally, and then look at people who do that thing, and then try to find out if there are pathways that they have followed that are available to you, or things that they studied that you can then study, so on and so forth. In other words, if you want to be a Kurt Cobain, just because that happens to be at the forefront of my brain, that he happens to be at the forefront of my brain right now. By it, I meant the situation, not him as an it. It's just the situation of Nirvana when they were getting started. And to hear Dave Grohl tell it, they started in a garage or a basement, and it wasn't all smooth sailing at first, and they were learning their instruments, they were learning what it was to be a band, and they were learning what it was to write songs, and they were learning all of these things, and then they got better and better, and then things went really, really well for them. And then things went really poorly for Kurt Cobain, unfortunately. That's not to say it ends that way, but just to reflect on that for a moment. The point is, there is a pathway that you can look at in each of these circumstances. If you want to be an opera singer, then it would probably behoove you to learn to read music. It's not just your vocal skills that you will be training. It is your musicianship skills, listening to vocalists who have similar Fox to you and looking at their courses of study. Where did they go to school? Who did they study with? What methods did they study? Are those available to you? If you want to be the lead singer in a cover band, then you are probably going to be covering a variety of different styles. It would behoove you to look at the range of the repertoire that you wish to sing. Do you have that range? Can you learn to make good transitions over the secondo passaggio so that you can sing in that range and also implement the various styles that your variety of covers may require you to do? It takes a little bit of a different skill set to sing a John Bon Jovi song than it does to sing a Aaron Neville tune, even though they share some of the same range, tessitura. It's a different way of using one's voice. So having that flexibility will be rather important for you if that's what you wish to do. Do you wish to be a professional backing vocalist? Music theory is probably going to play a little bit more important role in that particular vocalist's skill set than it might for others, because they may be required to execute harmony parts that are not always as obvious as what one might arrive at if they're always just listening for a third above the lead vocal line. Yes, 85, 90% of the time, that's probably what that vocalist will be singing. And ear training alone will take you quite far. But when something different, unique, unusual, or specific to the song and the lyrics is required, having some understanding of music theory and how the notes of the scale can work with the chord changes and the lead vocalist's melody would be particularly helpful. So how much time does it take to become that professional? It still depends. If you're talking about days, months, weeks, kind of went out of order there too. Days, weeks, months, years, we still have to talk about how much time you're going to invest on a day-to-day basis. You might still get there if you only spend 5 or 10 minutes a day. It just might take you 10 or 20 years, maybe. But if you're going to spend an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 10 hours a day, you'll probably get there a lot sooner. It really depends. What are you willing to invest in your voice, in your studies, in your understanding of music as a craft, so that you can develop your artistry and become the professional that you are wanting to become? If those, and the thing is that I think that there's a place for all of us in there. It's just that for some of us, we're on a little bit longer track. Others may get there sooner. Others may seem like they're on a longer track and still get there a little bit sooner. Sometimes that happens. It all depends on what is your end result, what are the incremental steps to follow as you pursue it, and how much time can you invest on a day-to-day basis to help you get to that place. That will tell you how long it will take, or at least give you a better estimate than if you don't take a look at those things, don't take a look at what's required for the level of professionalism or the task as a vocalist that you wish to do. And I hope that you get there. I hope that something in there will help you figure that out. My name's Jeff. Thank you so much for watching this video. Questions and comments, please drop them in the comments or find me on Twitter at JTRolka. It's always a pleasure to take the questions that I find in the comments. I do so enjoy it. Thank you once again if you've subscribed. Take really good care of your voices, enjoy singing, and hopefully we'll see you again. Bye.